glass of milk, standing in between extinction in the cold and explosive radiating growth. So the warm blood flows through the large four-chambered heart.
Doctors do not just go to seminary school, pray, and then get medical knowledge put in their heads and then go out and practice.
Well, let me tell you, why is it then that after a person is dead, why do their fingernails grow? Why do
they don't grow.
And their hair grows?
They don't grow. What actually happens is that your flesh gets smaller. You dry out. It looks like they're getting longer, but they're not active.
You sure it's not the cells that are still active?
It's
in those certain parts of...
Yeah, no, something like that. It's an illusion, basically.
Okay. Well, you like I say, you're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. But
there's a difference you are allowed
belief
and let's make
and
it
knowledge.
And let's make it clear. You, of course, are also, ma'am, you are also allowed to believe whatever you want to believe.
Correct.
Absolutely. But I do disagree with you.
So why do you have this
You said earlier that it's wrong to criticize anybody else's beliefs. I don't agree with that. I think that there are some beliefs that are so irrational that people that express them ought to be taken to task.
Maybe it's not the belief. It's up to the individual to know what is right and what is wrong, unless they are insane. And
are we talking right and wrong, or are we talking truth and fiction?
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about truth.
If we're talking about truth, then we have. If we're talking about truth, then we have science and things like that out there to tell us what the truth is.
Yeah.
And not just our own brain, and not just my personal brain, telling what the universe is.
Right. And
which
science
could be faulty.
Science, like the same science that made the medicine possible that saved your mother's life, right, does not allow people to play little irrational tricks like you're trying with the atoms.
I'm not playing a trick.
That's a trick. You established a rule. The rule is, if it's this complicated, it had to have been created. That's your rule.
Because it can't be by
nature. But then you say that your God is more complicated than that. How come your God doesn't have to have been created?
Because that is what we to believe. We know. There's nothing greater.
You established a rule, and you're breaking your rule. You can't do that in science. Because what some people have been willing to set aside their beliefs, the things they really desperately want to believe, and instead stick to rules of rational thinking. It was possible to come up with the medicine that saved your mother's life. This is what sort of pisses me off when people come at me with this, oh, well, you shouldn't criticize my beliefs. No! If people thought the way you did, we'd be living in caves.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it's true. Everything that humanity has accomplished throughout its history has been at the expense of setting aside irrational beliefs in favor of what the facts actually are.
If you study
everything,
if you study the Arabic contributions to science and mathematics, and during the European ages, their contributions to math and sciences, and then you think about with Columbus how people were so scared to sail because they thought they were going to fall off the end of the world because it was flat. Wasn't that superstition that held people back? And what we're told is, don't believe in superstition.
And what I'm saying is what you're throwing at us now is superstition that's holding us back. That's what you're doing.
I think it's fear.
No. Your superstition that, well, the rule is that everything that's complicated had to have been created except your God. The except your God part is your superstition that is holding us back.
What?
From realizing that, no, if the rule is that everything complicated had to have been created, then that rule just applies to everything. Your God doesn't get a get out of jail free card. The rule applies to everything, him too. That's why your rule clearly has to be wrong.
Well, if you believe like you believe, then, well, that's...
By the way, speaking of the Arab contributions to technology, the Arabs...
I said to scientists.
To science.
How about the
Arab contributions to science were profound and great and astounding. And then it stopped. You know why? Because they had a fundamentalist religious movement in the Muslim world. And they crushed the science that was blossoming in the Middle East.
Don't we see that any day, though, within any form of government that is up to each and every person?
I didn't say government. I said fundamentalist religion.
Well, we
do see that every day with fundamentalist religion in particular.
They didn't separate religion from the government then, or their workings. They didn't separate that.
I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
you had a caliph, and the caliph was very strong believer. What happened was, as we believe, there is an evil force called Satan.
Yeah.
And Satan causes a lot of problems amongst people. A lot of it is born through ignorance, keeping people ignorant, holding people back.
Please say where you're going with this.
Well, I was
You're
telling
rambling
you,
now.
I had an experience, even though you don't believe it or not, and it tells us, God told me to tell everyone, we are supposed to share what we have with our brothers and sisters.
Okay, so you also agree with me that it's actually a good thing to criticize some beliefs, right?
Well,
you just think you got special permission from your invisible friend. I don't think I got permission anywhere. I just think when I hear something that's completely stupid, I should say so. Ma'am, you think it's possible for a complicated thing to exist without having been created, don't you?
No.
You don't?
Well,
what about your God?
Because
was your God created or wasn't it?
We have to believe that is something. I'm going to tell you something.
No, I'm asking you a direct yes or no question. Ma'am, I'm asking you a direct yes or no question. Is your God complicated or not?
I just told you, when I received my religion, a veil was lifted from my eyes, and I could understand.
All right,
but that's not answering the question.
You're nuts, and you can't answer a direct question.
That's not answering the question, though.
See ya.
The question is.
Well, you know what? I hope you guys really.
Ma'am,
I pray and hope that you all find your way.
You go right ahead and live in your little fantasy world and tell yourself there's something wrong with us that needs to be fixed.
No,
you go right
it isn't. You're fine the way you are. Just keep going.
What?
You're fine the way you are. Just keep going. Keep believing what you believe. Keep helping people. You know that there are scientists that actually believe in theology. I think Sir Isaac Newton was one of them. If you look at a listing,
that's true.
Now, so how does that explain? How could he believe in a higher power? And
because he lived a long, long time ago and didn't have nearly the answers that we do. For one answer, that's it.
Plus, there are scientists now who believe in that there is a higher power. Right?
Okay.
There are some top scientists now who believe there's a higher power.
So
you know how many?
Does it hinder them?
Do you know how many? In the National Academy of Sciences, the overwhelming majority of members of the National Academy of Sciences are atheists.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't take a whole bunch to still believe, though, and it doesn't take a bunch. If one out of 20 people...
You're right, but I didn't start playing this, argument from authority. I'm
not playing anything. I'm just basing this on truth.
Please get rid of this person.
Okay, we are going to go on. We have got other calls to
get.
Stories
about, you have a great
about
day.
The things that
We've got other calls.
Okay, you all have a great day, and I hope
Thanks for calling. All right.
It drives me crazy. People who start out claiming to have learned a bunch of science, and then next thing out of their mouths is, and then here's this rationalization that makes no kind of sense.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So I was an English major, and I had to take a science class. And by the way, my knowledge of science to this day goes no further than salt is salty. There, that's it. That's all I know.